Welcome to the Flex Rental Solutions webinar for today. Today we're going to kind of have a more informal discussion about some of the support offerings that we offer here at Flex. One thing that we're really proud of at Flex is that we offer support as part of your subscription. So you get unlimited support as long as you are a Flex customer. And there are quite a few different ways that you can get that support. The main way, of course, is by emailing our customer support email, which is support@flexrentalsolutions.com. I'm sure a lot of you have done this already. If you haven't, that is our recommended way of getting support if you have a technical issue or something doesn't seem to be working right in your system. We can usually work through that pretty quickly for you. One thing that we recommend when you're emailing support is to be as detailed as possible with the issue or with the question that you have. What that means is that we request barcode numbers, document numbers, item names, just as detailed as you can get when you're sending in those requests, because a lot of times we might get a request that says something like, my quote won't open, and that's all that we get. It's really hard for us to troubleshoot that. We can log into your system, but we might try to open a quote and it will work just fine to us. It might have something to do with just one particular quote. So that's why we ask for the quote number and also step-by-step instructions that seem to cause the problem for you. That will just help to sort of make the support process a little bit faster, so we don't have to go back and forth asking additional questions or go into your system and try to guess. So when you do email support, please just be as detailed as possible. Provide those barcode numbers, document numbers, item names, etc., and just give us as much detail and step-by-step as you can. One thing that's really helpful to us is when we see screenshots and videos. And we recommend a program. A lot of you may have seen us use this as we respond to you. It's a little program called Jing. You can find this at techsmith.com/Jing HTML. You can see on our website here, there's also a link to that under the support section. But basically what this program does, you can see up here, there's a little icon that now appears in my dashboard here. I can click on that and click capture. And from here I can capture, part of my screen or the entire screen. And then it will give me the option to either capture an image or a video. So let's actually exit out of that and go to Flex. So for example, maybe if we open, I actually haven't tried it with the PC, just a question in the chat room. I haven't used a PC in ages. Is there anybody here who has used this program on a PC? I assume that it does. And I don't necessarily see a separate download, but I would assume that it works on a PC just as well as it does on a Mac. But if we're here in Flex, I click capture. I can capture just a part of the screen or the entire screen. Let's capture an image. And then what it will do is pop up this image editing dialog box. And you have a lot of different tools where you can annotate your screenshot. So for example, I'm on the arrow. I can click and drag an arrow maybe to point out the document number, or I can point to a certain part on the screen and then click on the text and enter something. This is what I was talking about, or type in what the particular issue is. You can highlight different things, so it's very useful annotation tools that they have. And then from here what you would do is you can either save it or you can immediately share it If we click this button here, it pops up a little window that says that it's uploading. And the cool thing is that it will automatically paste a link to your clipboard. So now all I have to do is paste. And it has a link that goes through the screencast.com website. So it's not going to your domain or using your email or anything. It's all uploaded to the screencast.com website. You'll copy and paste that link into your support email, and that will give us easy access to the screenshot that you annotated. Same works with the video. So if I go back, click the icon, and then capture, choose the screen size, and then click capture a video. And this is very useful, again, for those step-by-step instructions. So you can capture a video and say, well, first I opened this quote, and then I clicked on this, and then I did this, and I was expecting this to happen, but this happened. If we can see it in a video without having to go in and recreate it ourselves, that's very helpful, and will definitely speed up the process. So when you're done with the video, you just click stop, and then again you can share, and it will upload that and automatically copy the link to your clipboard. So that's just one way, or one thing that we recommend using when you're sending in support inquiries. The last thing that I'll mention on that as you email support at flexrentalsolutions.com is to limit your support inquiries to one question per email. We use desk.com, which is a Salesforce application, and the way that it works best for us is when we have one question per email that we can assign to a support person, and then that way we can have a very specific record for that single question, and it's a lot easier for us to answer those questions and get to each one if they are each in a separate email. So that's the last request that I'll say. Is just to make sure that you send separate questions and separate emails. It's sometimes difficult for us to handle one email that has 10 questions in it. So the next support resource that I want to talk about is our Flex Forum. And again, you can find all of these resources here at flexrentalsolutions.com, and then by clicking on the support button. Our forum, and I have a tab open here. The very first thing I'll mention about this is that the username and password for the forum is not your Flex username and password. We actually get a lot of questions about this, and so what you'll have to do is register a separate account to access the forum. So I have a very separate account that's not my Flex web address. I typed in the wrong password. I also have a bunch of different passwords. And what's cool about the forum is you can come on here and actually interact with different Flex users out there. One thing that I'll mention is that if you post something to the forum, you won't necessarily get guaranteed support from Flex support. Although a lot of times we are on here, see Chris, our CEO, is always kind of roaming the forum and answering some questions. But by no means is that a guarantee that you're going to get support from a Flex employee. So a lot of times we recommend if you have a technical issue, that's what we'll recommend emailing to support at flexrentalsolutions.com. If you just have something, maybe you want to find out what best practices are or see what other people are doing, that's a great place where you can go to the forum and ask those questions. The forum has been around for quite some time. Let me see if I can find the statistics. I don't know exactly where those are right now, but last I checked, we have thousands upon thousands of different topics. A lot of them just people asking, what's the best way to do this? Or what are some of the ways that other people have done this? And so you can go and search. So maybe you want to find out what's the best way to do inventory. type in inventory and see what topics people have come up with that are about inventory. There's also quite a few different categories. So I believe we have one, inventory types and settings. So if you just want to go and browse the categories that are underneath the inventory folder, then you can do that. And then we also have just kind of a few general, talk about whatever you want kind of sections as well. So again, to access the forum, it's not your Flex username and password. You're going to have to set up a brand new username and password that is specific to the forum. And again, we would definitely recommend using the same practices as when you're emailing support. Limit your forum topics to just one issue or question. Be very detailed in your requests, and that way you could get the quickest responses possible. I just see one more question over here in the forum. Is it okay to have 2 or 3 questions regarding a single issue per email? Yeah, that should be fine. As long as they're pretty much related, typically that's okay. We're just talking about, sometimes we'll get a list of 5+ questions, one that's about inventory, one that might be about quotes, one that might be about rental POs. So if they're unrelated questions, we definitely ask that you send separate emails. But if they're related, then yeah, you can have a couple of questions in there. So moving on, something that I was actually hired onto Flex to do is develop our user manual. Right now we have a link to our starter kit from FlexRentalSolutions.com. The starter kit is more meant to serve those who are just starting in Flex. There's still a lot of great information that might be useful to some people that have been Flex customers for a while, but really what it's meant to do is kind of be sort of an implementation guide. So it's set up into, eventually we're going to have 4 weeks, so it's about a month implementation guide that just covers a lot of the basic but important functions that you should do when setting up your Flex system. So you can see week 1 just covers a lot of the basic setup, like setting up contacts, users, inventory, and things like that. Week 2 goes into a little bit more detail, setting up your inventory, services and things like that, and how to create quotes. Week 3 talks more about operations, and then week 4 eventually is going to be some more advanced features like workflows, financial stuff, and things like that. So it's a work in progress, but I anticipate that the starter kit will definitely be done by the end of the year, if not in the next month or 2. And then our user manual, which I don't believe I have a link open to that right now, but let me post a link to that in the chat room really quick. So this is our user manual, and basically at the moment it has a lot of the same information that's in the starter kit. So I'm working on the starter kit primarily, and then as I put in some information in the starter kit, I'll also put it into the manual. But by next year, the manual should be a very full, have a lot of details and a lot of good help for you guys. So like I said, it's a work in progress right now, but that is really specifically the reason why I was hired here at Flex, is to work on the user manual, because we've been getting a lot of requests for that, and we're growing so much right now that it will be very helpful to have that manual in place. So for now, the starter kit and manual are still there. You can definitely utilize those, but just know that they aren't complete, but we're getting there. One thing that I do request is, as you go through the manual and the starter kit, we have the "was this helpful" icons down here. That's just helpful for me as I see the feedback coming from the starter kit and the user manual to know whether or not I've been very effective in the topic or not. So if you find something helpful, click yes. If you don't, click the thumbs down no, and I will adjust things as I need to when I see that feedback. So kind of related to the starter kit and the manual, we have a very extensive YouTube page as well. Again, you can access that from flexrentalsolutions.com, where there's a quick link from the Flex app underneath the help menu. In fact, you can get to the forum from there, the YouTube channel. You can quickly email support from here. And now that we have a little bit more of an extensive starter kit and manual, in our next release we'll have a quick link to the manual from this help menu as well. But our YouTube page has many of the videos that you're going to find in the manual and the starter kit, plus some more. There's quite a few videos that Chris has been working on over the past about 3 or 4 years, ever since Flex first existed. So some of them might be a little bit outdated, but can still have the information that you're looking for. And right now I'm working on updating all of these videos to accurately reflect the current versions of Flex. But again, lots of great information here, and it's really helpful to see some of these principles in action a lot easier than it is to just read about it, because Flex is a very visual and customizable program, so a lot of times it helps to actually see us doing it instead of just reading about it. So you can search. There's normally a little magnifying glass right here, and when you click it, it will open the search bar, and you can type in like a rental PO, for example, and it will pull up any video that has anything to do with a rental PO. So again, that's very related to our user manual and the starter kit, because we're going to post all of the YouTube videos there. But if you want really quick access to our videos, then our YouTube page is probably your best option right now. The last thing that I'm going to mention as far as support resources that you can take advantage of is our individual training. Some of you may have already taken advantage of this. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then let me tell you, we can do on-site or online trainings that are specific to your company. So obviously we have these webinars, we have videos, and a lot of general training resources, but we also offer one-on-one so that we can give you our full attention. The individual trainings that are online will typically be done either through Skype or through the site that you're on here, Join Me, so we can do a screen share and just basically have a pretty open question and answer session. We do ask that, when you do any of these online trainings, that you come to us with a list of things that you want to discuss, just so we don't have any awkward downtime where you're trying to think of questions. So typically we do them in about an hour. Of course, we could do more if we need to, multiple sessions, but we do ask that you come with about an hour's worth of questions. The on-site trainings, again, those are very customizable. We could come for a day, we can come for 3 days, and those are very useful because just having somebody on site, actually having their hands, or our hands I should say, on your Flex system and just helping you implement Flex to your company is very useful. If you want any more information about either of these types of trainings, email training@flexrentalsolutions.com, and they can give you the more detailed information and also the pricing information that goes along with that. So these are pretty much the main support resources that we have. Of course, you can also call the Flex number, which I believe you can also find here on flexrentalsolutions.com. Typically, we request that you call this number if you are having, something that we would say is more of an emergency, like something that's a blocker right now. If you're experiencing a bug that is preventing you from doing something very specific in your system and you need that done right away, or something like that. Again, we are always monitoring the support email as well, so you can send those requests to support as well. Another thing I'd mention there is that if your system is down, emailing support with system is down in the topic will flag that and get our attention quickly so that we can resolve that issue. But yeah, those are the main support resources that we offer here at Flex. Again, and as always, if you have any questions and if you need some immediate support, just email support@flexrentalsolutions.com.